So welcome to the Taste the Trends kitchen. I'm Steve Walpole, chef, hopefully extraordinaire, and general Harry Potter when it comes to this kitchen this time round. So Luxwells, that can go there, that comes to me, that comes to me. Just check I've got everything. Popcorn, check. Luxwells, check. Gin, where's my gin people? Oh, he's over there. Gin. Chocolate. Ah.
Yeah.
Put it in a bowl. Right, so. There we go. You can sit that with you in front of you. I love your little small sample bag you gave me. All right. We've got a wine person. No? That's good. Wouldn't have enough room anyway. Okay. So, welcome everybody to demo number 2 of the day. It's nice to see a great little bunch of people. So, if you're familiar to the speciality show and you're familiar to me and the kitchen, I'm just going to explain a little bit about how it's different this year. So whereas we've always done demos and I've tried to utilise stuff from the show and get people to really understand what we do, I thought this year we'd have a change. It's because I get a bit lonely up here, you see. So I've decided to bring up some wonderful suppliers that have been hand-picked. And it's a bit of a dessert theme this time, and this was deliberate. So the idea is that I wanted to showcase stuff from the show. So the idea is you come to speciality because you want to see the produce, you want to see the products, and you're here because of themes, trends, and all these other wonderful things that we've enticed you with. So this time round, this demo is about sort of plant-based and trying to sort of get people to understand a little bit more about how to do it. But what was really nice for a change that I've spent a lot of time doing is meat alternatives. So it was really good that I got to play around with different produce. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to give you a microphone so you can all explain a little bit about your products and what you've done. So what I've done is, we've been a bit of a genius. This is Kira, by the way. She's a student from Westminster College. She's a pastry chef trainee. So I would try and not boss her around too much, but it's probably going to be the other way around, Kira. So what I thought we would do is we would show you how to utilise some of these things. So, thank you for the microphone. I'm going to start, what are we going to start with? Should we start with a ganache?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, go on in, go with that. So, I'll tell a lie, I'm going to start with a wine. So what I thought I'd do for you today is take a little take on almost a Rocky Road's Millionaires type dessert. So instead of doing anything too drastic, I thought we'd make a nice little ganache using fire tree chocolate, and you can explain that chocolate because that is now the new favourite in a second. Yep. And then with that, I've got my lovely friends at Popcorn Shed. Where's the other one?
Do you want the other ones as well?
Popcorn Shed is great because they've got some wonderful new wacky flavours which are different. So we're going to do a little Rocky Road. So I've got some vegan marshmallows and I've got some lovely toasted marshmallow popcorn. But then to jazz it up, because I wanted to play around with sort of the flavour senses and sweet, salty, and if you like, sour, because I've got the wine syrup, we are going to use, where is it? Ah, you've moved it all. Peanut butter. Now, I threw Lisa a little bit with this one, because it's a black pepper and Cornish sea salt, but we're going to sweeten it up with agave and make a peanut butter mousse. So you're going to get sweet, salty, and a little hint of pepper. And that's going to go with that. Then with the chocolate, because the chocolate's quite bitter. Then you've got a lovely little Rocky Road type thing going on, because you've got the chocolate stuff, and then we've got the marshmallows. So we're going to do one of these nice new rustic style plates. So that would be the first one. The second one, I want to introduce you to Crystal and my gin mate over there. We have taken these wonderful flavoured water. Now, they are award-winning, but they are a honey and hibiscus, am I correct? Am I going to get this right? No, hibiscus and mint. Rose and honey, that's it. And pear. So what we've done is we've taken the lavender and pear, because I wanted to really have a challenge with it. So what we're going to do we've made some little martini jellies. Okay, so we've basically got some lovely little jellies that we've set with a vegan agar. We've then mixed it with the gin. We've made a nice little try for them. We're going to put a little cream on the top, but they've got these lovely little tea bags from our friends over there to flavour up, because although it's a lovely water and it's great to drink, and if I get time I'll poach in it as well, but what I wanted to show was that the chocolate's not just for eating. The popcorn doesn't have to just be a snack. It doesn't have to go with savoury. It can go with sweet. So I wanted to play around with it. I wanted to get to see, because you're here because you want to find a product that you're probably going to put on your shelf or you're going to buy as an ingredient to use, but how do you use it and what do you do? So we're going to play around a little bit. So let's start off. Joe, do you want to explain a little bit about Fire Tree and why I absolutely, yes, have now fallen in love with Fire Tree as a brand of chocolate?
So, hello everyone. Fire Tree is rich volcanic chocolate. So we only source our cocoa from volcanic islands, from really remote, beautiful places that we haven't got to go to the last 2 years because of COVID. But the chocolate we're using today in the dessert today is our Philippines, Mindanao Island cocoa chocolate. It's 73%, which is quite important, 73%, because our chocolate maker will make a test pilot chocolate in the test kitchen. He always starts at 72%, and then he plays around with the profile to get this precise taste profile of our chocolate. So this one he's chosen 73%, but we have a range of cocos and range of chocolates. Volcanic islands produce amazing cocoa. They are really super deep, nutrient-rich soils in these islands. So all of those delicious taste notes go into the cocoa from the ground. So all the flora and fauna around the cocoa trees on these really small islands and small farms really contribute to creating these taste notes. So we don't add any flavours to our chocolate. So this Philippines Mindanao chocolate has taste notes of citrus and honey and caramel, all naturally sourced through the terroir or the ground that the cocoa trees grow on. And then we might buy some Madagascan beans and they will have taste notes of raspberries and really strong fruits. And then Papua New Guinea, where we buy some more cocoa from Kaka Island, will have taste notes of truffles and mushrooms and really earthy tones. So all those taste notes in the cocoa come from the ground. So we don't add any flavours at all. So all of our chocolates have more or less the same ingredients: cocoa mass, cocoa butter, and unrefined cane sugar. So absolutely amazing what Mother Nature can do to a cocoa bean to make it. It's very similar to wine. Wherever the grape grows, it will take the taste note from the ground. So fantastic chocolate. All of our chocolate happens to be vegan. We don't lead with that, but we're a completely allergen-free factory. So we produce all this chocolate from bean to bar in Peterborough, which is obviously the epicenter of all fine chocolate and food.
Thank you very much. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to put, or Joe's going to put some chocolate into the dishes and just let you taste it. Now, what I think you'll find, and what's really nice, is if you look at the website and you speak to the guys, they almost give you the tasting notes like you would do with wine to understand it. Now, I got the pleasure of being asked which one of the Create brands I would like to try. And looking at the three different ones, settle on the flavour notes, I think this one's got the citrus, the caramel, and yeah. So I chose that because I felt it would work really well with the marshmallow and the other products and stuff, and also the peanut butter. So another gentleman that's just joined, he isn't just a random that's decided to come and sit here. This gentleman, and he's going to kill me for what I'm about to do with his wine. But I will let, and your name, sir? Jamie. So Jamie's going to talk about his wine, because what I'm going to make with it is a little red wine syrup. So I'm taking a wonderful wine that's beautiful to drink and drunk at the right temperatures, and then you put it in a pan, and then you reduce it down with a bit of agave, and you make a nice red wine syrup because it complements everything else. So Jamie's going to smile, but afterwards I think I'm going to have some makeup for the black eye I'm probably going to receive. But please just explain a little bit about the wine and the plant-based and where we are, and then we'll go with that. Because I thought I'd better do that because that's in the pan. I haven't got to your stuff just yet.
Happily. So, hi everyone. So, don't try this at home. Normally you'd be drinking this cellar temperature by the glass. This is called See No Evil, Hear No Evil Shiraz from Australia. Vegan friendly. You're kind of wondering, why wouldn't wine be vegan friendly? Any ideas?
Egg.
Why wouldn't wine be vegan friendly?
Just keep one out there.
Very good. So in the clarification process, so when you finish the fermentation, you've still got quite a cloudy, hazy liquid, and there are various treatments for clarifying that wine so it looks bright and colourful in the glass. And some of those are not vegan friendly. Some of them involve milk, some of them involve fish bone meal, would you believe? But generally speaking, something neutral like bentonite clay, which is an iron-rich clay which is very heavy, will be used to fall through the wine and take the particulates with it and therefore leave a clarified wine behind. Anyway, this has not had fish or dairy added, but that's why, if you're thinking wine couldn't be more plant-based, that's why there is that distinction. And this is also organic, no pesticides, no insecticides, no nasties in the vineyard. So as the basis of a red wine jus go, although it's heartbreaking to see this happen, it's a pretty good base ingredient.
Well, yeah, so apologies for ruining it. But again, it was like, I wanted to be a bit different. I wanted people to see that, you know what, plant-based doesn't always have to be about a meat alternative. It doesn't always have to be about something else. And actually, desserts for me sometimes get a rough ride because you can't really swap out some of the dairy products. You know, it's very hard to replace eggs. It's very hard to replace butter. It's very hard to replace creams, etc. But looking at the fact that if I've got really good products like the wine, the waters, chocolates, the peanut butters, the popcorns, you can actually make something really quite creative. So I'm hoping to be quite creative today. We will see. So I'm now going to pass you over to one of my favourite snacks and one of the things that is my go-to all the time, and that's the popcorn. But I was impressed because one, not only does the product look great, I love the packaging, I love the look of it. And Popcorn Shed, you've been around for a while, no? So I'll let you go. And so you're...
Thank you. My name's Sam from Popcorn Shed.
Yeah,
we're a 6-year-old business. We do gourmet popcorn in 28 different flavours and counting. So we have released last month actually 7 brand new flavours, 4 of which are plant-based. So we're using toasted marshmallow and pink gin, and we've also released a couple of other vegan flavours in the last month or so, and that's really in reaction to the demand that we've seen from buyers, consumers, and the plant-based community. So we air pop all our corn, and then we coat it in a caramel. And typically, with caramel, obviously the main ingredients are butter, sugar, syrups. We switch out the butter for coconut oil for our vegan flavors, and on certain flavors specifically, once you flavor them with marshmallows or gin, you don't really notice much taste difference between a buttery caramel and one that's made with plant-based ingredients. The marshmallow in particular, we're quite proud of, so any plant-based consumers in the audience will know that it's pretty difficult to source vegetarian marshmallows, let alone vegan ones. So we actually sourced those from a supplier in Spain, and it was quite a challenge finding them a vegan recipe which tasted good and was at the right price. But we've come up with 4 new vegan flavors, and we are really happy with how they've turned out. And I mean, I'm not a plant-based eater, but I really don't think there's much difference in the taste between a caramel popcorn made with coconut oil and one made with traditionally with butter.
So I'm just double checking from a quality point of view that the red wine is of good. Brilliant. No,
Okay.
So going back to, I mean, yes, we found a vegan marshmallow. It really is. I do a lot with the free from world. So I do a lot around allergies. I do a lot around, dietary sort of things as well. And it's a real challenge because to get the right texture, the right feel and stuff to it, it really is quite a difficult thing. So we've just put a little bit of agave in because obviously, agave is an inverted syrup, so what it will do with the wine, it will help bring a sweetness because we're reducing the wine. So although you're going to get that sweetness, it is a Shiraz, which has got a lovely sweet flavour. I just want that little bit of extra, because also as we're reducing it, what the invert sugar is going to do is just give it a little bit more of a shine and give it a little bit more of a syrup looking. So what I'm looking is almost like a pork glaze. We're going to use this tomorrow as well, because we're going to be doing some stuff with foie gras. Now I know obviously this is a vegan wine, but what we're going to do is we're going to use this ethical foie gras, and we're going to put the red wine on it to just flavour that to help balance it out. But it is a really good product. Okay, so we've just melted down some chocolate. So those of you that know how to make a ganache, what you basically do is you get your chocolate. You either melt your chocolate and keep your cream cold, or you keep your chocolate cold and you warm your cream. You never warm the two, purely and simply because the chocolate has all the different oils in it. And being this is the Create range, this is done specifically for chefs and cooks and people. That's why it's got the... But it does temper really well. So we just melt that down, heating that up. Then what I'm doing is I'm doing the Rocky Road garnish. So basically, I've got the popcorn. I've then got some of the Fire Tree chocolate. And then some of the vegan marshmallows. So while I'm chopping this up, because you don't want to hear me chopping about this, I think we should go on to our lovely... I can't remember the word. Peanut butter, that's the word. So our lovely friend Lisa is going to start to talk about Frida's.
Hi everybody. So we're based down in Cornwall and we make a range of flavoured peanut butters, and I should perhaps explain who Frida is. So she was a camper van and she was who we toured around New Zealand in 6 years ago, and that was where we found the inspiration to create our own range of peanut butter that wasn't, we thought that peanut deserved better treatment, and a lot of the peanut butter you find here is 100% peanut, which doesn't have a huge amount of flavour, or it's a lot of palm oil in it and full of nasty sugars and refined things. So we just wanted to make something the best quality that we could. So we make a range of 8 peanut butters now. We do a chipotle chili, we do a chocolate and orange, and this is the latest addition to our range. It was a passing comment by somebody who just said that he sprinkled black pepper on his peanut butter on his toast in the morning, and I thought, well, that sounds really interesting, so we gave it a try. We managed to source some organic Indian peanut butter, Indian black pepper, and we combined that with Cornish sea salt, which is just down the road from us down in Cornwall, and just peanuts and nothing else at all, and it just gives this fabulous savoury flavour. And on that point, we normally have marketed this as a
See, it's
savoury
not just the wine I'm
product.
messing around
So my hubby eats it with cheese on crackers, and I love it with hummus and that kind of thing, celery and all sorts of things like that. Great to put in a stir fry. And then I was very, very intrigued to see that it was going to be used in a dessert. So,
Well, it's only because... how do I make it without making me sound like some sort of culinary weirdo? When you think about flavour profiles, so you think about sweet, sour, salt, bitter, then you think about spices and you think about chili and you think about pepper. Pepper works really well with certain fruits. So it works really well with pineapple, it works really well with strawberries, that sort of thing. Then you put it into your peanut butter and think, okay, well, I quite like the idea of that. And then when you look at the chocolate, you've got the different flavour profiles within the chocolate, and then with the popcorn, you've got that sweetness. So then to bring that tartness back, that's when you've got the wine. So I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what's this lady doing in the middle, just sitting there? We'll come to you in a minute. But the idea was that just think outside the box, and the whole point of this show for me is you're walking around to have a look at what could be used and how it could be used and how to do something different. So for instance, the toasted marshmallow is going to work really well with the Rocky Road, the chocolate and the peanut butter, and you get that whole idea of what works. Then you're looking at with the red wine, then you're looking at the Luxwell's beautiful waters. So you think, well, how do I make a water sing? Well, I turn it into a vegan jelly. I add a bit of the gin with it. I play around. Then I'm going to put a nice little coconut cream on the top, so it's going to look a bit like a cocktail. But you think, well, what's really fancy to go on the top of it? Well, we're going to use these tea bags that you can break open, and you mix it with the cream so it swells the cream. And why not finish that off with a lovely bit of pink gin popcorn, because the pink gin popcorn then marries up the flavours. So hopefully it's going to look stunning. If not, then you're going to find me getting an Uber out the front. But just think about what you've got with it. Think about how to do things differently. I think you know what, like it's not just a snack, what could I do? Because how many times, and I don't mean to say it, really, like, if a vegan person is coming round unannounced, sometimes you're really not quite prepared for a plant-based person. But if you've got a good wine, you've got popcorns and waters and everything else, with a little bit of ingenious, you can actually play around with it. And actually, talking about that now, so in regards of how the trend's gone, obviously you guys have all now, part of your business, worked on the fact that, you know, plant-based has now become, what started as a bit of a fad has now become actually a real part of the way we eat and the way we do things. So for me, it's been a positive because it's got people eating better, it's got people eating balanced. Plant-based is one other thing, but what it has brought in is it's brought the sustainable side and it's brought the ethical side. It's made people really think that, you know what, people are here because they want to eat products, they want to try things, and it's, you know, cost is always an issue. I know that cost is but actually these little changes in regards of production and everything else, I mean, if anyone wants to just jump in and just talk about like the impact that's probably had, I mean, popcorn shit, I mean, how many have you got, 28? And how many were vegan?
We have
So
11 of them are vegan.
A little bit more.
In terms of the cost, we actually find that the vegan flavours are cheaper to produce than using butter. I mean, the price of butter also is very volatile because a lot of the demand comes, well, in recent years, China has developed more of a palate for butter. Traditionally, that's not been a big ingredient in that country, but as a result, demand has increased and prices have increased. So yeah, it is much more sustainable to use something like coconut oil because butter, yeah, it's obviously very, the prices is very volatile because it's dependent on the price of milk and the demand at the end of the day. Does anyone else want to contribute?
So why did, from the wine perspective, obviously, for me it was quite an eye-opener a few years ago to realise that wine wasn't something that was necessarily vegan or plant-based because of the process. I know there's a, you know, wine's been made for centuries, but yeah, nobody really had a clue why. So are all your wines vegan, plant-based, or? It's a bloody lovely wine, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be no good by the third demo at this rate, but we'll be fine.
We've certainly increased the
You wanna
number of
try it?
wines
Got to try it.
because we work very closely with the producers at
Yeah.
production as well as design level. And for most of them,
Look at
it's
that.
kind of like not even a box to tick. It's kind of a sort of a default position, really, because it's just a
Nice.
lot easier if they are vegan. And increasingly, a lot of our producers are in conversion to
You don't
organic
put glass.
or indeed to biodynamics, because the two kind of come hand in hand. You certainly don't expect an organic wine not to be vegan, but increasingly a vegan wine to be organic.
Yeah, that's it. Help yourselves, guys. Go on, let's have a party. Right, so as you can see, my syrup's come down a little bit. I just need something clear to put it into. Have you got something? No. That'll do. Bit clearer. There's no point having a lovely deep red syrup and then we pour it in a deep red or dark bowl. No one's going to spot it, are they? But as you can see, what I've done is reduced it down and it's made a lovely dark red. Syrup. And that will just now cool down and it will thicken up a little bit and that's just going to get drizzled over the top of this. Right, Kira,
Yes.
what are you doing? Don't mean that like what are you doing, like what are you doing? So you melted the chocolate.
Yep.
So talk to me about making a ganache and talk to me about how, or what we've done, and then we'll get the one out of the fridge and we'll show them. So meanwhile, let me just go this. So I've got toasted marshmallow popcorn, chocolate, marshmallow pieces. I'm just going to put that in the oven just to melt it all down, toast it all up a little bit more so I can mix it all together. So hopefully these should char up a little bit. It should melt in there, the chocolate should coat it, and we get a lovely little garnish to go with our peanut butter mousse and our chocolate ganache and the red wine syrup, hopefully. Right, so Kira, talk through what you've done.
So just here I've melted the chocolate to go with our dessert, but earlier I made a chocolate ganache. Now traditionally, chocolate ganache is made with dark chocolate because it sets firmer. So if you make a cake and you do a chocolate ganache around the edges, it sets firmer so you get a nice clean finish. So to make the ganache, I just did the heat the cream and add its cold chocolate. So I heated the cream until it starts to bubble around the edge and it starts to boil. Don't bring it fully to the boil, otherwise it will start to reduce. Take it off and add it to the chocolate. Let it sit for a bit because that allows the chocolate to melt. If you start to whisk straight away, the chocolate will go really hard and will go really bitty and you'll get lumps throughout your ganache. Let it sit for about 5 minutes and then whisk it and then you just set it in the fridge to set firm.
So you see we've got that. This is the plant-based cream. It's a coconut-based cream. I use a lot of the Flora products. This Flora plant-based butter. Please don't get mixed up between plant-based butter like this and Flora margarine. Margarine and plant-based butter are two very different products. A margarine is usually an emulsification of water and fat. So if you try to melt it and use it in the same way, it has a completely different effect. It will go spitting out in all sorts. Whereas the butters actually work very different. With the plant-based cream as well, I find that the Flora one or the Alpro one is really, really good. And it works in exactly the same way. You can whip it, you can do all sorts, can't you?
Yeah.
So basically, you melt that, you stir in this, then you leave it to set, and what you get is a lovely little mousse. So here's one we prepared earlier. Well, sorry, Kira prepared earlier. But you see, it's got lovely texture to it. It's soft. But what you've got then is you've got that lovely, rich, indulgent, same creaminess. Because, I don't know, who tried the chocolate? Everybody? How did you find it? It's, when you first try it, you get that sort of sweetness, but it's got so many different layers. And actually, you do get the earthiness, if you understand what I mean. You get it's a bit not like in a beetroot, but you get that same sort of thing. So what I found was that by using the cream with it, it softened it, it brought it to life a little bit. So it made a big, big difference. Right, so we've got the syrup, we've done the ganache. Do you want to make me a peanut butter mousse then? Mm-hmm. So you get your whisk, you need a bowl. Got some more agave. Yep. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some of the peanut butter. You're going to be able to whip it in there? Yeah? That's when you get a pastry chef student to go and do it, because if it doesn't work, you can blame them. So as I said, this cream whips and works in the same way. So we've got our chocolate mousse, we've got our garnish on the go. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass you over while this is happening, because you don't really want to stand and watch Kira whisking cream. It's quite a lovely skill to watch, but do you want a bigger bowl?
Where's our peanut butter?
Oh. If not, we'll get Gollum out the back to get one. Is that one open? Yeah, that's right, yeah, there you go. Use that one. You're next. So we'll talk to you in a sec, but that's fine. So, with the peanut butter, as I said, what I loved about it is my oven working. Okay, we'll pretend the oven's working really well. Okay. With the peanut butter, as you said, they've got so many different flavours, and I could have cheated. Was tempted with the chocolate orange, and I was tempted with all these other things. But I thought I would go brave with the salt and the black pepper, purely and simply just for the different flavour profiles. So we've whipped the cream. We're now just going to fold some of the peanut butter through. So again, we're softening it. You can see that now. That's gotten to a lovely syrup. Oh. And the good news is, because I've burnt all the alcohol off, I can finally have a whole bottle of wine in a small little amount because I've reduced it. But anyway, that's the toasted marshmallow, isn't it? Don't ever want to pass them around and let other people try them, do you? Where's the popcorn shit? Over that way? You're in the corner, aren't you? Yeah. So what I'll do is let the panel taste it first, because then you find out who the poker players are. So you find out later after the Great Taste Awards dinner who we're going to play poker with, because the ones that will give it all away. There we go. I'll put a little bit more peanut butter in there, make it a little bit thicker if you can. Let's get another same plate. Is it a blue one? You all right, Rick? So has anybody got any questions about plant-based, or anybody got any questions about products? Do you want to talk about some more of the chocolate range? Because one of my favourite things, which you're going to see tomorrow, is the coffee chocolate. The coffee chocolate is superb. No? Okay, we'll go on to the Luxwell's Waters then, shall we? Crystal, do you want to give us a bit of background of Luxwell's and what you do and how you do it while I drink some more red wine?
Okay, hi. My name is Crystal.
really good stuff. It's really good stuff.
And I'm the founder of
Open
Luxwell's.
up.
So
Keep going.
Luxwell stands for Luxury Intertwined with Wellbeing. And our product range are botanical infused water beverages. So water infused with flowers. So we have 3 flavors. We have rose and honey, lavender and pear, which is what's being used today, and hibiscus and mint. And so I came up with the idea of Luxwell's because I don't enjoy drinking water, but it's really important to stay hydrated. And so the concept behind the brand is to uncage your hydration by making sure that you're drinking enough water. So the products are made using only real flowers, so there are no artificial colours, flavours or preservatives. All of the beverages are handmade in the UK, and part of the journey was after I had my daughter, just making sure I was taking the best care of my body by having natural products and staying hydrated. And the bottles are shaped like cages, which is the concept behind uncaging your hydration. So that's where we're up to. We have just won 3 Great Taste Awards last month for each product. And Luxwell's launched a little over 3 months ago, so we're very new. And our stand is just behind you, so if anybody would like to try any products, we're just over behind you.
Cool.
Yes.
So for me, what was nice was they are so subtle. I do love sort of water drinks, but I get a bit bored of the normal flavoured waters and the things like that. So what was quite nice was it's quite a feminine flavours, if you know what I mean. So, but it looks really pretty. But they aren't, how do I put it? They're very subtle and they're very, like, really just quite refreshing to drink. I mean, the rose one is just beautiful, and the mint level and stuff in the hibiscus is just superb. But what was really funny was the pear one grew on me, because the pear is the least sweet out of the 3. But actually that was why it was the better challenge to put it into the jelly and then mix it with the cream and the popcorn and the gin, because I just felt it was. But actually what you found is that the flavour sort of built. Lavender's one of those products that it can be either really, really intense to remind you of your nan's bathroom when you were a kid, or the potpourri.
Everybody always, when I was talking about, I'm thinking of making water infused with flowers, and when I'd say about lavender, I'd see everybody's eyes wander off, like, what is she talking about? But it's good that they can try.
But lavender is, and it works really well in panna cottas, it works really well with a lot of stuff. So, but pear, for me, is one of the most underrated fruits as well, because it's so, again, it's just a subtle thing that actually it was really good. So for me, I think you've balanced it really, really well, which is why it also works. And I'll talk to my gin friends, wherever my gin friends are gone. They were really chatty yesterday. He's gone all quiet on me today. Which one did you use?
The lavender.
Use the 80-day one?
Yeah.
You're hardcore, you are. Cool. But they've got gins that are all infused with teas and stuff. And again, there's quite a lot I like about the whole alcohol world and not understanding how things are processed and made and done. And I think it's a really good thing. So, right, our garnish is done. Our mousse is done, is it?
Yep.
Right. So now we're going to see how my rocheting skills are going to be like. So now we're going to do our rustic little dessert, where we've got our nice Fire Tree vegan plant-based chocolate mousse, our popcorn, our marshmallows, our peanut butter mousse. And if you don't like it, okay, just smile and pretend it's really great. I'm messing. Right, Kira. Do you want a quenelle? You're better at quenelle than me, yeah? So basically, we've taken the salt and pepper peanut butter, mixed it with a vegan cream, and then a little bit of the agave. And then what you've got to do is chop the top off to make sure the bits of peanut butter can get through. Make it even bigger so the peanut pieces can get through. Now we're rocking. Yeah? So,
What do you want it, chef?
salt and pepper. Yep, just put me like sort of 1, 2, 3, however you want to try and do it. Yeah, 10. Mine is made a bit smaller. Maybe just do me 2. That's it, and then swap over them onto the board. Perfect. So we've got the chocolate, we've got the marshmallow pieces, vegan. You've got the popcorn. So you see I've coated some. We've got the pinks, we've got the whites. I don't want chocolate overkill, but if you're wondering why we've done mousse with the cream and we've done the chocolate separately, is so you get the 2 flavour profiles. And then you're hopefully going to get that nice subtle salt and pepper from the popcorn. If you're wondering why I'm using tweezers, because everybody does these days, I just thought I'd try and be smart. It's got no relevance on anything, okay? It's just, you know, if these young whippersnappers are going to do it, I'm going to do it. Oh, it's got too thick. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, once I clean that plate up, joys of a syrup is it doesn't always clean. But what I wanted to just show to you guys, and we'll let these guys taste it, was how simple a nice little fire tree chocolate, some nice little popcorn, marshmallows, peanut butter, and then the red wine syrup makes a wonderful looking, nice little rustic dessert. So I'll let the panel taste one and then we'll put one down the front and see how long it lasts. You can clap if you like. Sorry, I was just checking if you wanted to. There's some spoons up the front, isn't there, people, so you can have a look. But I just wanted to prove to you, it's like, with plant-based, you know, there are so many good products now, and there's so many good things to really just sort of bring stuff to light. Hopefully you're going to get that lovely earthiness of the chocolate. You're going to get that lovely sweet and that crunch of the popcorn. You're going to get that nice subtle undertones of salt and pepper and creaminess from the peanut butter. You've then got the marshmallows, which nobody cares about, but you've got the lovely then, the red wine syrup, which should marry up with the chocolate. So if you're wondering, peanut butter goes really well with red wine, and so does chocolate, okay? Or if you're doing a demo, I find red wine is really good for the palate. Go, just tuck in down the front with them. So let me know what you think, people, and then we've got one more dessert to go. Gonna do another one, yeah? Just doing like a plate, yeah? Get in.
It's for our chef.
So, what do you think, guys? Does it work? Yeah. The popcorn really brings something else to it. That peanut butter with that cream is just superb. I love it when the panel are looking like that. That's really good. Don't worry, one's coming round you lot. Don't be shy. Right. So, Kira, do you want to go whipping again? You're whipping again, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? How's your wine? We got another one up here. Has Kira done one? Yeah? Is that a mini one, is it?
Yep.
Right, mini one, there's cutlery up here. Do you want to go and pass it round? just have a taste of that chocolate, that peanut butter. I cannot tell you how excited I was when it comes to this to try and make something out of it. Because if you ask anybody, what are you going to do with red wine, peanut butter, that and that, you're not going to work, are you? But we did. Right, so, remember I said to you we'd taken the lovely Luxwell's pear with the lovely gin. What we then did was we set it with a lovely bit of agave. So what you get is a lovely little thing. Now, what I was going to do, but I was a little bit too shy to be fair, was our lovely friends at the gin place behind make these wonderful looking tea bags. But what you find is, as well as them being a tea bag which works really well for tea, or if you were to make a stock syrup, or you were to sort of add more to yours, they're edible. So you can rip them open and you can eat this. So I'm not sure what one we got here. Orchard berry, no, yeah, that might work because it's the lavender. Not doing that one. Yeah, we'll do this one. So what we're going to now do is Kira's going to whip that cream up and we're going to fold this through. Yeah, then we're going to sprinkle that on the top. So all you do this, you warm the Luxwell's up. Now be very careful because you don't want to boil it because it does take some of the flavour away. So again, with the chocolate, please heat it over a bain-marie because you're then not going to crystallise the chocolate, you're going to do anything. And it has to be really... There's absolutely, in my opinion, no point buying a quality chocolate, a quality wine, a quality peanut butter, and quality popcorn and juice if you're not going to treat it in the right way. So with the chocolate, learn how to just bring it... So chocolate, I think you've got 3 different fats, I believe, in chocolate, and so therefore I think they range between 28 degrees and 52 degrees. So warm it up, bring it down, then bring it back up again, and you should get that nice crack and that nice shine with it. With the peanut butter as well, it's like if you are going to use it in cookies and stuff like that, right, I would really have it as a cold spread or as I've done it as a mousse because I think it works a lot better. As soon as you start to heat it, it will separate out a little bit and I think you'll damage it. With the popcorn, do what you like with it. It's amazing stuff, that's all I'm going to say. But again, if you are going to bake it like I did, I didn't go mad because I don't want to break the structure down. All the hard work they've done getting that glaze and getting that coating and finish right, you don't want to do it. And with these, just warm it a little bit. Obviously, you don't usually heat red wine like I did, just saying, but you can make it work. But heat it up to get to the right temperature so that when you do put the setting agent in, it will set enough without damaging your product. Keep it nice. With alcohol as well, be very careful if you're cooking with alcohol. Alcohol's a funny thing. It doesn't set very well in the freezer in a high alcohol content, but also if you put it in too early in a cookery process, you will lose it. So, done it? And have you folded that tea bag through, have you?
Yeah.
So what I wanted, I mean, just look at that. We'll do 2. I know you think I'm nuts. I'll get them to explain. It's perfectly fine to put tea bags in your food. Not black tea, though. That's a bit wrong. You're very quiet, you lot, today. Has it been a tube strike or something? It's like, what's going on? I know what it is. You haven't had enough organic, plant-based wine. Let's have a look. Ah, yes. Right, have you got any sweetness in there?
No.
No? So, all you do, you warm this up with the alcohol and with a bit of a sweetener in there, and then you set it. And then what you end up is these lovely little party pieces. Then what you do is you phone your mates up at Popcorn Shed, and you get their lovely pink gin popcorn, which I can tell you not only looks great, look at that, it's just sexy. I obviously need to get out more if I think popcorn is sexy, but you get where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen. But again, it's like, just look at the colour of that. So this recipe will work with any of these. So you think about, I got the right one because I keep calling it the wrong thing, don't I? Yeah, hibiscus. This is my favourite one out of the lot, the hibiscus and mint. Yeah, it's really, really good. So you want to do hibiscus and mint or you want to do the rose and the other stuff? Yep. Where are we? Are we done? Perfect. Hopefully it's going to sit. So if you wanted a very quick dessert and something that looks amazing, you get the vegan cream, you put some of these fruit tea bag bits in it, you spill it over the side of the glass because it really helps the effect. I think just 2. No, make it 3. So if you want to do that, all of them, and then give it to these guys. So, not only are you going to go and buy lots of the popcorn and lots of the other products, you've now got the perfect little... Oh, she's gone. Huh? Where is she? Okay, we'll pass these along. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this demo about all the different chocolate. If you want to know anything about the chocolate, you want to know anything about the popcorn, the peanut butter, the wine, the Luxwells. Have I upset her? Oh, she's downstairs, isn't she? Okay, fine. Right, we'll pass it along. You can have one each. And then do the rest for the people at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Go. 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Spot on. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, just like to say thank you to Luxwells, thank you to Popcorn Shed, thank you to Frida's, thank you to Fire Tree, thank you to Propeller. Cool. There's some more coming around if you want to try it. You can clap, ladies and gentlemen, say thank you. And if you want to have a chat with these people, please do. But again, it's just how to take some plant-based products and make it into something a little bit different, a little bit good. That pink is great. It really is good stuff, isn't it?